Hazel here for mining.com.au, and joining me once again is Jason Froud, the Managing Director for Premier1. Jason, it's a pleasure to have you back on. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me back.
Now, Jason, what's the most exciting part of Premier1's gold story right now, and where do you see the biggest discovery potential?
Okay, yeah, thanks. So both the Yalgoo and the Abbots North projects have very large land holdings, and they're both sparsely explored. So I guess for me, number one at the moment is Mount Kersey. So we've got a coincident gold geochem anomaly there. All the pathfinder indicators, principally bismuth and tellurium, which are really important at Yalgoo. We've got over 2 kilometres of strike, and we've got some high-grade rock chips in there up to sort of 26 grams per tonne. So I guess on an exploration side, Mount Kersey ticks the boxes for both scale and grade potential. Number two, I guess more broadly, is the Abbots project. For a greenstone belt in Western Australia, it's essentially unexplored, and it's got all the ingredients for gold. It's early stage, but the more we look at Abbots North, the more we see a lot of potential there. At Rochefort, which is a completely new discovery, we've got consistent rock chip samples over a 40 by 40 metre area, and that continues undercover to the south. So for me at the moment, there's certainly a lot to be excited about.
Yalgoo and Abbots North sit in some of WA's most prospective greenstone belts. Tell me, what makes these projects stand out, and what nearby discoveries point to their upside?
So if we start with Yalgoo, that project sits on the Maloo Shear, and we've got 25 kilometres of this Maloo Shear that goes north-south through the project area. So along this structure, 40 kilometres to the south, we get to 29 Metals Golden Grove project, which is truly a world-class VHMS mine down there, but also Warriedar Resources Golden Range project, which is in the process of being acquired by Capricorn Metals at the moment. So Warriedar sits on the Moogadera Shear, which is exactly the same shear zone that continues up and becomes a Maloo Shear within our ground. So all of the gold at Warriedar is sitting off splays off of that Moogadera Shear. We've got the same structures at Yalgoo. Immediately north of Yalgoo, we've got Ramelius's newly acquired 5 million tonne Melville project. And as I said, we're sitting at 25 kilometres of strike length across that Maloo Shear zone. At Abbots North, I think the geology there is just as compelling. 4 kilometres to the south of the project, we've got New Murchison Gold's Crown Prince mine that they've actually just started production there, and that comes off of a splay of the Abernathy Shear. And those same structures and the same geology continues into our ground, with the geology being highly analogous, but it's really never been explored for gold. I guess what's quite interesting at Crown Prince is that the footprint there is very small, and it's been missed by multiple explorers. We might be seeing something very similar with New Murchison at their Lydia and airport deposits, but I think this really highlights the untapped potential within that Abbots Greenstone belt.
Jason, what key results or milestones should investors keep an eye out for over the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, sure. So I think probably 3 main points there. Number one will be resource growth and improving the confidence at Wodgingara at the mineral resource we've just put out. So we'll be drilling along strike and down dip, as well as drilling a few holes through the known mineralisation there to improve that confidence in the interpretation. So we're looking to rapidly grow that resource, and from there have something much more material. Number two will be testing those priority targets. So as I said, Mount Kersey is a standout. It sits only 1 kilometre away from that crescent or that Wodgingara area, and it's got that excellent pathfinder geochemistry, the rock chips, and it's never been drilled. The third point there will be the initial drilling and exploration at Abbots North. So as I said, this ground is virtually untouched, and a lot of that tenure is under shallow cover. So we're progressing through the heritage clearance at the moment for air core drilling, And we believe that Abbots North offers some real and significant potential for new gold discoveries, analogous to the Crown Prince deposit.
It certainly sounds like a compelling story. Jason, thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to speaking with you next time.
Okay, thank you for having me, Shay.